Good morning and welcome to Wendy Wednesday. I am joined today by Hebrew Home resident Kelley Dixon. Welcome, Mr. Dixon.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Nice to see you. All right, let's get started. We've got a lot to cover. Today is Wednesday, August 19th, and the weather is a little surprising. I thought it was going to be a fully sunny day, and we were just talking about how there was a little bit of rain early on, but hopefully that won't last for the whole day and we can all get outside for a little bit. But it won't be too hot, which is nice. It's only going to be about 81, so that's manageable. Today's menu selection. For lunch, we're serving hamburger on a bun with French fries and homemade coleslaw with fresh watermelon for dessert. Sounds good. And for dinner, we're serving egg drop soup with Asian salad and seafood pasta with pound cake for dessert. So we hope you enjoy those meals. Today in history, in 1900, the first and only Olympics cricket match was played in Paris. Did you know that they had a cricket match in the Olympics?
No, I didn't.
It sounds like it was very short-lived. In 1909, the Indy 500 racetrack opened. So I guess this is kind of like a sports mode today in history. And I figured since the Democrats are having their convention this week and the Republicans, I think, is next week, I thought it would be fun to share some presidential trivia with our viewers today. George Washington was the only American president to be unanimously elected. John F. Kennedy was the first president to hold a press conference on television. William McKinley, he was the first president to campaign by telephone. Teddy Roosevelt, he was the first president to call his residence in Washington, D.C., the White House. So I thought that was interesting. It wasn't always called the White House. Prior to him, it had been called the Executive Mansion or the President's House. Andrew Jackson, he was the first president to ride a railroad train. James Madison, he was the shortest and lightest president. He was only 5'4".
Really?
And he only weighed 100 pounds. Can you believe that? What a tiny guy, right? Barack Obama, he collects, I did not know this, Spider-Man and Conan the Barbarian comic books. Harry S. Truman, he used to get up at 5 in the morning to practice the piano for 2 hours.
Wow.
And he was also the first president to give a speech on television. William Taft, he weighed 332 pounds. I can't imagine that. And would you believe he got stuck in the White House bathtub the first time he used it? So that was probably a little embarrassing for that phone call to be made. So they had to order a larger bathtub, as you can imagine. Calvin Coolidge, he refused to use the telephone while he was in office, and while Grover Cleveland, he answered the White House phone himself. Jimmy Carter, this is an interesting fact too. He was the first president born in a hospital, and he is a speed reader. He reads 2,000 words a minute.
Really?
Can you imagine what a voracious reader he must be? Herbert Hoover, he approved the Star-Spangled Banner as the national anthem. And going back to Jimmy Carter, this is strange but true. He is the sixth cousin of Richard Nixon. Can you believe that?
All in the family.
That's bizarre. Can't believe that one. Okay, so that's the presidential trivia for the day. And in terms of oddball kind of holidays for today, it's actually National Potato Day. So get out there and have some mashed potatoes, some boiled potatoes, some French fries, roasted potatoes, any kind of potato you can think of. Celebrity birthdays. We have a few today. It's actually Bill Clinton's birthday. Matthew Perry, the actor from Friends, if you remember him, and Coco Chanel. It's all their birthdays. Hebrew Home residents celebrating a birthday today. Eleanor W. and Julia R. So, Mr. Dixon, if you know Eleanor and Julia, make sure to wish them a happy birthday. We don't have any staff birthdays today. But the birthday horoscope today says, not only is there a new moon on your birthday, but Saturn is strong as well, which suggests you possess the ideal combination of self-belief and stamina. Whatever you start this year, you won't stop until it is completed. You'll make hard work look remarkably easy. So that sounds like a pretty good birthday horoscope. So now let's turn to Mr. Dixon and our interview for the show. Hello again.
Good morning.
So I interviewed you for the show briefly on your neighborhood. We spoke a little bit about baseball, but for those who missed that episode, maybe you could just share with our viewers a little bit about your passion for baseball and how you were a baseball player yourself back in the day.
Yeah, way back in the day. Yeah, I started playing when I was, well, not when I was, but it was in the late 50s, early 60s, and I dragged it out until the early 70s.
That's a long stretch.
Yeah, well, I gave it a fair shot, you know.
When did you first discover your passion for baseball? Were you young? Were you just a
yeah,
kid?
I was like in the 5th grade, whenever that was, you know.
Okay.
And
so you were about 10 years old, right?
yeah, around there. And I played until I was about 26 before I really gave it up. And I still played, but not professionally. But it's a hard bug to let go. You know, once you start playing, it just becomes part of you. So when I stopped playing, I still follow it very closely, right up until today.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Did it come easy to you? Was it just a natural?
To me, I figured it was natural. You know, it was always easy for me till I got older, and I started traveling a bit, playing against kids throughout the country. Then I found out how really hard it is, because I ran into kids that were really good.
Yeah.
You know, they were good. You
Right,
know, so I
right.
found out what the competition was about, and I found out that I really wasn't the greatest in the world, which I always grew up thinking I was all that. You know?
Right, right.
And
Kind of put things in perspective about the broader field out there. But it's also, I think of it as more even as a business these days, as opposed to just an enjoyable sport. You know.
If I had a little more proper guidance, I probably would have tried to get into baseball on the business side. Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised what these kids are getting out of high school. You know, a kid gets $935,000 to sign a contract to play in the lower minor leagues. You know, he's 17 years old. He gets $1 million.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, well.
But I guess it's maybe because it's a short-lived
occupation.
Career. You know, like you said, you only play for a certain amount of time, and then they're up for the next.
So it's always, you know, if you have the proper guidance, you know, you spend 5 to 10 years trying to make it. But if you don't, if you have the proper guidance, you could always go into another phase. You know, you can be a coach. You know, you can be a manager. You know, you could work your way up just like you try to do when you're a player. You know, there's more than being a player. It's a humongous business. Yes. But I never pursued. When I found out I wasn't going to make it as a player, you know, I didn't give it any other thought. But if I had been smart, I should have, you know.
But you know, you live in the moment. So at that moment, you did what you thought was best.
I chased my dream, you know.
Well, it sounds like you caught it for a short period of time, right?
Yeah.
Which is a lot more than most other people.
Oh, I wouldn't trade it for one moment, no.
What did your family and friends think about, you know, your success and your living the dream for a period of time?
They always encouraged it. They really did, you know. Don't worry. Keep trying. Keep trying.
Right.
And I did. And I have no remorse, really. I had a lot of fun trying. Met a lot of people, too.
Right, right. Any special memories that you think back on that you were just really amazing and fun? And
Yeah. I played, I don't know if you ever heard of the Polo Grounds.
yes.
And Ebbets Field
Yeah.
and Yankee Stadium. I played in all three of them.
On a team, like during your professional
Well,
days?
I was on a team, and we played in each venue. You know, I played a game in Yankee Stadium, I played in the Polo Grounds, and I played in Ebbets Field.
Wow.
You know, so those are memories that I'll always cherish.
Wow.
You know? Yeah.
So were the crowds just cheering? And
Well, it was mostly friends and family, and the scouts that were there watching the game. You know, they had people there. I mean, it wasn't a full house, but I mean, it was the house that Ruth built. You
Yes.
know, I was playing there. It was amazing. I'll never forget that. Never.
That's great.
So I have good memories.
What do you think about the fact that there's no fans in the stadiums these days?
Well, right now, I got a television, you know, so.
But from the player's perspective, do you think that makes it harder for them to play?
Unquestionably. You know, fans in the stadium mean a lot.
Yeah.
It really does. It's motivating, and the fans you can hear, whether it's good or bad. You know,
Right.
you can hear them, and it not only motivates you, it pushes you. You know what I mean? To do your best. Somebody says something bad, you want to show them that it's not like that. Somebody says something good, it motivates you to do more.
Right.
No, the fans are very necessary.
Sure.
You know, and it's coronavirus, man.
Yeah, we've had enough of it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's time for it to go.
Like they need to get rid of it today.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
So what do you think about J-Lo and Alex Rodriguez thinking about buying the Mets?
I hope they succeed. It would bring new juice to New York,
Right.
to the Mets organization. It would give us just a new identity, and it would be a good one, you know, because they're show people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would be really good for New York, for the baseball team. I think it would be wonderful. Better than this guy that's giving them a lot of competition.
Right, because there's a couple of different groups
Yeah.
that are looking to buy.
This guy, he's a hedge fund,
Okay, yeah.
and he's got like $10 billion, $11 billion. But he's having a lot of trouble in his personal life. And that counts too. So I hope they don't sell it to him. And there's a good chance J-Lo and Rodriguez, my personal opinion, I think they're going to get it.
They say that in the news coverage, they said that they're in the lead.
Yeah.
The lead offer. So
I think it would be wonderful. I really do.
Agreed. Is that going to turn you into a Mets fan?
Yeah, well, I'm already a Mets fan. It's just second. After the Yankees, I'm a Mets fan. You know, I'm a New York fan.
Right.
But yeah, it would make me more of a Mets fan.
Right.
You know?
Right. I think that's the case with a lot of people. That's going to bring a lot of
Yeah.
attention, just the fact that they're going to be connected to that team.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the local sports last night. The Yankees, they lost, right?
Yeah.
Did you watch the game?
But the Mets won.
The Mets won.
Again.
Yes.
They keep coming back. They're coming to life.
So what's your forecast? Do you think the Mets are going to do well?
I think that there's a good chance that the Mets will meet the Yankees in the World Series.
When was the last time that happened? When? A while back, right?
I think it was 2000. They played the World Series. Yankees won. But I'd like to see that happen again. And there's a really good chance. I'm not dreaming. It's a good chance they could do it, because the Mets, they can hit. It's their pitching that's a little suspect, but they can hit. And hitting today is very important. Everybody's hitting home runs. The Mets hit home runs. And that's how they came back last night. You know?
But the Yankees have Aaron Judge out, they have Stanton out, right? And they got the other guy out.
But their team is loaded. They're out, and they haven't skipped a beat. You know, really. I think they won 9 of their last 10 games anyway. You know?
Right.
They're a beast. The Yankees, they're a beast. So, things fall right. We'll have a great World Series.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes, it would.
All right, I know that you know so much about baseball. I thought I'd put together some fun trivia questions for you and see how you fare. But before we get to them, very important question. Mustard or sauerkraut on your hot dog?
Mustard.
Okay. Okay. Inquiring minds want to know. Okay, so what do you think is the most popular snack at the baseball stadiums? What sells the most?
The hot dog.
There you go. Hot dog, number 1. And you know what number 2 is? Number 2 is going to be a hard one. I would never have guessed it.
Popcorn.
Nachos.
Nachos?
I don't know.
I just recently heard of nachos. Really. I didn't even know what a nacho was.
Did you try one?
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, I got to get used to them. The name itself turned me off. A nacho. What's a nacho? But it's one of the favorite snacks, which I learned.
Yeah, we do it in my house.
Yeah.
We put the salsa on it. We melt the cheese.
Yeah.
It's a little messy, but it's a good snack. All right,
hot dog,
have to try it.
popcorn and hot dogs.
All right.
Or Cracker Jacks. Remember Cracker Jacks?
Yes, of course I love
It's part of the
Jacks.
song.
That's right, that's right. Okay, so what is the most number of innings ever played in a game? Do you have a guess on that one?
I think it was about 26 innings, somewhere in there.
You are close, 25.
Oh.
And that was May 8th, 1984, when the Chicago White Sox beat the Milwaukee Brewers 7-6.
Oh, okay.
That game, that lasted 8 hours and 8 minutes. Can you imagine being in the stands?
Yeah.
You'd probably love it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could imagine it.
Mickey Mantle or Joe DiMaggio?
And I'll take Mickey Mantle.
Any reason why?
Well, his longevity was more than Joe DiMaggio's. Mm-hmm. You know, and Mickey Mantle played against, in my opinion, better competition. He could run faster. He could throw better. There's a lot of things that Mickey Mantle doesn't get credit for. You know, he was a better athlete, but Joe DiMaggio is like legendary. You know, and but you put him head to head, Mantle would smoke him.
Okay, viewers, let us know what you think. You should send us a note, 2813, yes? So you should let us know if you agree with Mr. Dixon's feelings about the players. All right, here's another one. Derek Jeter or Phil Rizzuto?
Derek Jeter.
Rizzuto.
Derek Jeter, yeah.
Because?
Derek Jeter, all time, in hits, he's like 6th. There's been thousands of baseball players. He's like number 6 all time.
All time for the Yankees or
all time for the history of baseball.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't even know if Phil Rizzuto even got 2,000 hits. I think it was.
Okay.
I think there was 1, maybe 2 years he batted over 300.
So what was his claim to fame?
He was the scooter. He played for the Yankees. He played on winning teams.
Got it.
Although he wasn't the main reason they won, but he was a very important player. He played shortstop.
Got it.
But again, like, he couldn't touch Derek Jeter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us, who in your opinion is the best player historically of all time?
All time? Barry Bonds.
Really?
Yeah. He's the best player that ever played the game.
Really?
Yeah.
From
and
a hitting perspective?
Offense and defense.
Okay.
And a few other things that he did better than anybody else, too. And you'd be surprised. There's a lot of baseball players before and even up to today will tell you the same thing.
Really?
He's the best player that ever played. It used to be Willie Mays, but that used to be
Okay.
Barry Bonds, best baseball player that ever played. You know, and right now he's running neck and neck with Ted Williams as who the best hitter was.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Okay.
And Ted Williams has him beat out by a tiny bit. And Ted Williams has forever been acknowledged as the greatest hitter of all time.
Really?
And Barry Bonds is in that company, and
Wow.
that's saying something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe our viewers could call us and tell us if they think that Barry Bonds is the all-time greatest player also. We'd love to hear everyone's opinions on that.
Yeah.
All right, we have another question for you. What were the Yankees originally named?
The Highlanders.
Do you know, I asked this of my husband last night, and he guessed that too, but that is not correct. I'll give you multiple choice. Highlanders, which I just said was ruled out, Americans, Giants, or Orioles.
What?
The Orioles. That's the winning name.
The Yankees used to be named
Original. That's what they said.
the Orioles.
Well, they were originally named the Orioles.
Wow.
That's what it said on the internet, so it's got to be true, right?
That's,
All right, let's ask you another question. Which Yankee was the first MLB rookie to win the home run derby? And that I can give you multiple choice if you want.
What's his name? He's Judge.
That's right, Aaron Judge.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, what do you think about him? I know he's out. Is he out for the season?
If
or?
he didn't get hurt, he's the MVP of the year right now.
So how long is he out for?
He really shouldn't be out. They're being extra cautious with him.
Okay.
He's not hurt. I mean, take an extra day or two, you know.
So he'll be back soon.
He could play right now. They're babying him.
Well, maybe that's because, you know.
Yeah, they're being cautious. I mean, he's the bread and butter of that team.
Right, right.
He's the MVP. He's going to be the most valuable player this year.
Do you think he's going to be with the Yankees for a long time?
Yeah, at least another 10 years.
Wow.
And they got to pay the kid. You know, because he's like about 27.
Okay.
So they got to give him a 10-year contract for about $500 million minimum.
What's he earning now?
He's probably under a rookie contract. He's probably making $8 or $9 million. I don't know, some ridiculous underpayment.
Wow. So you want him to go from 8 or 9 to 500 million?
Yeah.
That's quite a leap.
He's worth it.
Really?
He's worth it. Yeah.
Can you imagine that kind of money? Isn't that incredible that a player will make that?
It's
500 million.
It's yeah, like $500 million should just about cover it.
That's a lot of money.
Yep. But it's worth it.
Well, I guess he brings in a lot of money for the
All
team, right?
kinds of ways.
That's what it all comes down to, right?
Yep.
All right, another question for you. Where did the team play after they moved to New York? I'll give you multiple choice. Polo Grounds, Tinker Park, Star Park, or Hilltop Park?
Wait, what team are you talking about?
The Yankees. Polo Grounds, Tinker Park, Star Park, Hilltop Park. This is a tough one.
No, I don't know.
Hilltop Park.
Oh, that's where they got the name Highlanders.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I have two more questions for you. Which Yankee pitched the only perfect game in World Series history?
Don Larson.
You are right. Tell us about that game. Do you?
Yeah, he struck out Dale Mitchell on a call, third strike. He threw the ball. He threw it to Yogi Berra. They called the umpire called strike 3. And Yogi Berra jumped out from behind the plate and ran and jumped on Don Larson off the ground and put his legs and arms around him. I still remember that.
Wow.
You know, I still remember that scene. Don Larson is still alive, believe it or not.
So how long ago was that? What time frame was that?
That was 1956. Yeah. Because they lost to the Dodgers in 55. They won it the next year, 56.
So was he one of the greatest pitchers of all time, too?
No, a long way from it. That was his, as they say, the 15 minutes of fame.
Yes,
yeah,
that was his.
That was his moment in time.
And you mentioned Yogi Berra. Tell us, what are your thoughts on him as a player?
He was one of the greatest catchers that ever played, really. He's a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When he retired, he hit more homers than any other catcher.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was, you know what a cleanup hitter is?
Yes.
The guy, the number 4 hitter. He was the most important hitter for the Yankees for like about 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is surprising.
And he won, catch this, he won 3 league MVPs in 3 different years. So he not only did it 1 year, 2 years, he won more most valuable player awards than any other Yankee.
Wow.
So he was great. He was great. Yeah, and he was funny.
Yes, he's the one with all those sayings, right?
Yeah,
right.
They still use them today.
Right, right. All right, let's ask you one last question. What was Mariano Rivera's signature pitch? Is either a knuckleball, curveball, splitter, or cutter?
Cutter.
There you go. It was a cutter. Well, you are a wealth of information. You are our baseball expert.
Yeah.
So that's all the time that we have for our interview. I wanted to give you this mug to thank you for being here.
Really?
So
I shall cherish
enjoy
this.
that. And thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me, all of you. Okay.
All right, we are going to finish up the show by just sharing some programming notes with you. Rabbi Noah's Bible study, that's going to be today at 11:15. We have Wellness with Deborah at 1:30. And we have a concert with Larry at 2:30. And if you'd like to see this interview with Mr. Dixon again, you can actually see it this evening at 6:30 on Channel 88. Thanks to everybody for watching today. Thank you again, Mr. Dixon. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. So glad you were here.
I really enjoyed this.
Good, good. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Enjoy the day. Take care.
Okay, I'm released.
My heart is where the Hebrew home is. For where the heart is, that's where you find the Hebrew home. Hebrew home, Hebrew home. Good morning, Hebrew home. My heart is where the Hebrew home is.